Social update UG. Opposition want Gen Muhoozi jailed and demoted. Aboludde oluvuganya government baagala Gen Muhoozi Kainerugaba kubajjukira kati bamukuziza his a full general from a lieutenant general baagala abeerenga awonerezebwa ng'ateekebwa mu kkomera ate era aggyibweko n'amayinja kubanga ajjukira yalumbye eggwanga lya Kenya mu nsonga ezitali zimu n'agamba nti asobola okuwamba Nairobi mu wiiki 2 ate nga position gya holding tekkiriza kubeera ng'omuntu yenna gye holdinga yenyigira mu politics ow'ekisirusiru owa publicity naye ng'omusajja ono balina wetwogerera alina kubeera nga court martial yamuyise dda because it would have been happening to any other person if it wasn't Muhoozi Kainerugaba, but the fact that he's the president's son I think is getting some favors. Ne court martial mutya. What you need to know is that political leaders and a former army commander urged President Museveni not to please his son with a promotion when his Twitter storm, which they claimed violates Army Code of Conduct, triggered a diplomatic incident between Uganda and Kenya and prompted the commander-in-chief himself to publicly apologize. Abantu abakulira ebyobufuzi mu ggwanga erya Uganda bagamba nti no Museveni talina kubeera nga mutabani wa mukuza bukuzi mu kintu kyeyakoze. Ekintu kyeyakoze ku Twitter jjukira mukyalesewo olutalo lw'amaanyi, olutalo olw'ekikungu diplomatic lw'amaanyi ku Twitter wakati wa Uganda ne Kenya, era nga kyaviiriddemu ne kabwejjungira yennyini Museveni okubeera nga yavuddeyo ne yeetonda publicly. Jjukira nti Museveni yakoze apology yayetondera abaana Kenya n'eggwanga lya Kenya. Kakati tina abantu bagamba nti talina kubeera nga muwana buwanyina kumuwa bitiibwa, alina kuba nga akangavulwa. A section of Ugandan leaders and scholars yesterday reacted with consternation over President Museveni's speedy apology to Kenya on behalf of his 48-year-old son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, whom he sacked as Commander of Land Forces on Tuesday and simultaneously promoted him to a foster general. Kitegeera abantu beewunyiza ab'ebyobufuzi mu ggwanga beewunyiza nti Museveni abadde asobola okuba nga avaayo neyeetonda on behalf of mutabani we w'emyaka 48. Emyaka 48 jukira nti Bible egamba nti omwana atali wa mpisa avumaganya nnyina naye ate ow'empisa aweesa kitaawe w'ekitiibwa. Anyway, three of them, the leader of opposition Mathias Mpoga, Kampala Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago and Shadow Attorney General Wilfred Niwagaba, variously called for Gen Muhoozi to instead be demoted and court-martialed for allegedly violating army rules barring serving officers from making divisive public comment on political, military and foreign policy issues. Abakulu ab'ebyobufuzi omuli akulira opposition Mathias Mpuuga, Kampala Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago ne Shadow Attorney General Wilfred Niwagaba babadde bakola kaweefuba okulaba nga Muhoozi alina okubeera nga aggyibwako amadaala ate court martial emuyise emuwozese olw'ensonga ez'okuba nti nno yaviolatinze army rule of conduct kubanga ekifo kyalimu mu magye tekimukkiriza kubeera nga ayogera ku nsonga ezekuusa ku byobufuzi eby'amagye ne foreign policy talina kubeera nga abyogerako mu ngeri mu bendala, era nga baagala court martial emuyite abeere nga akangavulwa. Okitegeera. UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Felix Kulaije, in answer to a similar question on Twitter posted by African Institute of Investigative Journalism Executive Director Solomon Seranja, downplayed the matter, arguing that although Gen Muhoozi's view had caused discomfort, and the statements were personal and largely inconsequential. In interviews of this article, both current and former leaders, including NUP party leader, Principal Robert Chagulanyi, Bobi Wine, who described tweets by the first son as thoughtless, questioned why the commander-in-chief and not his son was the one apologizing. Bobi Wine yekenyini yeebuuziza n'agamba nti no, lwaki Muhoozi si ye yeetonda, lwaki tatawe ye yeetonda ku ludda lwe oba on his behalf? Why is Museveni apologizing on behalf of Muhoozi? Why isn't Muhoozi apologizing on his behalf? Gen Muhoozi kicked up diplomatic storm between Uganda and Kenya when he claimed that, in a tweet he claimed that he and his army, which he did not specify, would need a fortnight to overturn Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya. In another tweet, he positioned that outgone Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, whom he called his big brother, should have ignored constitutional term limits and ran for president a third time. Jjukira nti omusajja ono Muhoozi yamezze n'aluma bakita kumeggana kuluma. Teyakomye kugamba munasobola okulumba Kenya mu wiiki bbiri, wabula yagambye nti nno n'omukulembeze avuddeko Uhuru Kenyatta nti yabadde alina kugikwatako bukwasi n'abeera nga yeesimbawo ogwokusatu, yandibadde ali akalulu okusinga okubeera nga yafubutuka just after 2 terms n'abeera nga avaako. The latter opinion cut through a combustible politics inflamed by a bitterly fought election in Kenya in August, in which the then incumbent President Kenyatta ganged with veteran opposition politician Raila Odinga against the deputy president William Ruto, the eventual winner. Okitegeera omusajja ono Muhoozi yakoze effujjo lingi ku Twitter n'okubeera ng'alumba n'omukulembeze ayavaako n'amugamba nti yandibadde agikwatako bukwasi. Thus praising Ruto's political fall turned a power cage because the new Kenyan leader, who at his inauguration fondly called President Museveni father of the region, is expected in Kampala on Saturday this week to attend Uganda's Independence Diamond Jubilee on Sunday. That planned trip, before Museveni's apology shared on his official Twitter handle yesterday, was holding in balance as the mass exasperation triggered in Kenya by Muhoozi's tweets swept to higher ups. Jjukira nti nno omukulu ono omupya William Ruto yabadde alimenti okubeera ng'ajja mu Uganda, naye okuva Muhoozi we yatwetinze ebyokujja ku Uganda byabadde suspended biri mu lusuubo kubanga yabadde ayagala okusobola okufuna official statement lwaki Muhoozi yayogedde ekintu ng'ekyo, naye Museveni yeetonze. Officials and ordinary Kenyans flooded the microblogging site to call out Muhoozi, beating him into a hasty retreat before his father stepped in to apologize to Kenyans and Ugandans offended by first son's conduct. Museveni yeetonze ku lwa mutabani we. State House, through Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Farouk Chirunda, defended President Museveni's apology on behalf of Muhoozi, that the backlash in Kenya over the tweets had created unnecessary debate and tension and gone out of hand. The president is far-sighted and his intervention was timely. That's why he apologized to the people of Kenya. What's wrong with that? As for the promotion of Gen Muhoozi, let's not mix issues, Mr. Kirunda said. The UPDF has clear procedures of handling such matters, and the president is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. He also respects the rule of law. In his apology, which followed a direct one to Kenya's President Ruto, Gen Museveni wrote, "I ask our Kenyan brothers and sisters to forgive us for tweets sent by Gen Muhoozi. Former Commander of Land Forces here, regarding the election matters in that great country." He added, "Very sorry, ndugu zetu wa Kenya. Also sorry for the Ugandans who could have been annoyed by one of their officials meddling in the affairs of brotherly Kenya." The president explained that he simultaneously elevated Muhoozi to a full general, which some analysts and insiders characterize as a soft landing because whereas the tweets were a mistake and negative, there are, however, many other positive contributions that Gina has made and can still make. Museveni mu kwetonda kwe nno era still yakoze atya, yawoleza mutabani we n'agamba nti wadde tweet ezo zabadde mbi naye ate Muhoozi alina ebintu bingi ebirungi byakoze, oba bye biruwa gwe mbulira mu comments. The commander-in-chief did not specify the contribution necessitating his son's prompt promotion. Museveni teyannyonnyodde bintu birungi Muhoozi byakoze byamukuzizza kubeera Foster General. In multiple interviews, academics and politicians in Kampala said the sacking and apology did not go far enough in disciplining Gen Muhoozi, whom Kampala Lord Mayor Eddy last night said should be court-martialed for making divisive political, military and foreign policy commentary against army rules. Museveni's apology is some kind of political grandstanding and appeasement to Kenyans. It doesn't expressly rebuke or reprimand him, neither does he make any commitment to call him to order, but paradoxically goes ahead to promote him to the highest rank in the army. The aberrant conduct of Muhoozi would naturally call for a court-martial. not mere apology, Mr. Lukwago, an opposition politician, noted. Muhoozi ono ku kye yakoze mbagirawo opposition manya court martial nebadde muyitirawo kubeera nga emuwozesa wabula si kubeera nga ataakuzibwa. Oyo no ye Elias Lukwago bwe yagambye. On his part, Shadow Attorney General Wilfred Niwagaba told this publication that if the diplomatic rift that Muhoozi has caused was so caused by any other serving military officer, I don't think Gen Museveni would have only apologized. Such an officer would not only be court-martialed but also be compelled to personally apologize. This was an apology of a parent for the son's blunders, he added. We were unable to reach Gen Muhoozi for his response to the gathering criticism against him, and he never tweeted yesterday, contrasting with his Twitter meltdown from Sunday. The diplomatic tiff with Kenya risked Uganda's international trade, whose main access is through the eastern neighboring country, officials warned. Tweeting mutabani wa Museveni gye yakoze yatadde ba businessmen matigga ensonga eriwo nti nno abasinga obungi mu Uganda tukozesa Mombasa okubeera nga tusuubula emmaali. Mr. Emmanuel Dombo, the spokesperson for the ruling National Resistance Movement Party, in reference to Gen Museveni's intervention, said civility demands that statesmen take responsibility for what their citizens may have said. In order to explain any situation that may lead to a misunderstanding, the Ugandan leader rarely apologizes, at least publicly or timely. And his prompt action to the Kenyan tweets demonstrated severity of the matter. Government sources said last evening Major General Muntu Mugisha, a former army officer turned opposition party leader, said the first son's conduct had placed the president between a rock and a hard place because of the critical nature of the relationship between Uganda and President William Ruto. According to Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye, who, like Major General Muntu, is a veteran of the Bush War and brought Museveni to power in 1986, history repeats itself. Uganda's generals seeking to take control of Kenya territory 46 years ago, like Idi Amin did. Nti Besigye yagambye nti nno ebyafaayo biddiringana kubanga emyaka 46 egiise era waliwo omuntu mu Uganda yali amanyikiddwa nga Idi Amin ayagala okutwala ogutundutundu ku ggwanga erya Kenya. Okitegeera. Uganda's generals seeking to take control of Kenyan territory 46 years after Idi Amin threatened to do so. It is now Gen Muhoozi. That is why Kenyans are not taking it lightly. Miss Miriam Matembe, who served as ethics minister in Museveni's government, wondered why Muhoozi was promoted to a full general after the tweets. Together, calling the matter complicated, Makerere University history lecturer Ndebesa Mwambutsia urged that the promotion was likely a compensation to the first son for losing the key deployment as Chief of Land Forces, the third highest position in UPDF. You can also say that he is being gradually retired from the army at a higher rank. Otherwise, why would he cause unease with his tweets and he is promoted within a short time without achieving anything remarkable, he added. President Museveni yesterday put military and other public officers from meddling in international affairs of foreign state. It is not correct for public officers, be they civilian or military, to comment or interfere in any way in the internal affairs of brother countries. The only available legitimate forum is the peer review mechanism of the African Union or confidential interactions among us or the East African Community and African Union fora, non-public comments, he noted in his apology. Following a tense meeting with security and intelligence chiefs in Tungamo town in June, President Museveni ordered Gen Muhoozi to stop discussing political, security and foreign policy matters on social media platforms. Instead, he advised him to concentrate on developing the youth, Uganda's biggest population segment, through promoting sports, culture and entertainment. The gag order followed a flurry of tweets by the first son on polarizing internal politics and contentious international matters. He tweeted support for Tigray rebels in their war against the federal government of Ethiopia and its choice to ally with Rwanda at a time of its diplomatic fallout with Kinshasa. Stirred anger, and the Congolese parliament resolved for UPDF soldiers involved in Operation Shuja in eastern part of the country to leave. Nti Muhoozi ono era twetinzeko nga wagira abayeekera bali mu Ethiopia n'awagirako ne Rwanda ebiseera Rwanda yalinga enenyezebwa okubeera nga erumba Congo, era ekyo kyaviirako Congo okubeera nga eragira aba UPDF okuba nga baamuka eggwanga ery'e Congo. For weeks after the order also radioed to all military units, Muhoozi went silent on the microblogging site only to re-emerge with more rabble-rousing posts. His attachment with social media, particularly Twitter, began when he rebounded to command the Special Forces Command, taking no prisoner. Muhoozi has sparred with UNAIDS Executive Director Winnie Byanyima and threatened to reverse a coup in Guinea if authorized. Kitegera nti Muhoozi ono azze nga yeeriisa nkuuli ku Twitter. In various posts he has also mocked Bobi Wine, who accuses him of masterminding abduction of opposition supporters, of being a loser who will never become Uganda's president. Someone told this young brother of mine that we are going to beat him very badly in the polls, Gen Muhoozi tweeted in the run-up to last year's elections. Following a public outrage, Gen Muhoozi deleted the tweets. In September last year, he announced on his Twitter handle that his father had instructed him to recruit 2,000 graduates into the army. The Defense Ministry later said it was unaware of the arrangement. In the same month, he tweeted about the coup in Guinea and how Ethiopia's government was handling the situation in the Tigray region. Gen Muhoozi said he needed a day to depose Guinea, the coup leader, Mamadi Doumbouya. The then Defense Ministry spokesperson Brigadier Flavia Byekwaso said General Kainerugaba's comments in his personal capacity, but not as a military commander, and therefore they didn't reflect the institution's stand on the stated issues. By then, early military spokesperson Brigadier Flavia Byekwaso yagamba nti Muhoozi yali ayogerako byonna byonna, they were just personal opinions, but they are not reflecting to what the entire military institute was thinking about the situations. Naye nga yoyo munnange, naye nga yo opposition yeegamba nti nno Muhoozi alina okubeera nga court martial emuyita avunaanibwe era awozesebwe ku lwaki yatweetinze bwatyo, ate abeere nga ademotingibwa. Okitegeera. Tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. Peace.